Hey, Jonathan here. Let's model by levels of detail as we learn to model in Rhino for complete beginners. Let's do it. So going back to our provided file, let's make sure that we select the last row and isolate it. Then move over to perspective and zoom select it. Now let's go step by step from very little detail to a lot of detail. But in every step, we could be able to 3D print it, for example. So first up is extrude. So for example, just here, I'm going to zoom in. We're going to go with extrude curve. We select the curve we want to extrude. We accept it, and then we move into the direction we want it, making sure that it's going to be a solid. In this case, I'm going to use this as help, and that's it. Now this one we can 3D print it. As we can move along in the design process, we want to add some detail to it, for example, the side benches. For that, we're going to first split the face and then move the edge. Split, face. We select the face we want to split, enter to accept. Now let's get help here from the snap points to get the midpoint to midpoint on one end, enter. Now let's do the same thing on the other side. Spacebar to split face again, select the face we want to split, enter to confirm. Then we're going to actually draw on this face through which line the face should be split. So let's click on the midpoint on one end, the midpoint on the other, enter to confirm, and that is it. Now, when we activate the move edge command, we should be able to grab that particular edge only and start moving it around. Enter. Then we click a reference point and we go inwards as much as you want. Then spacebar to repeat the same command. Then select the edge we want to move. We accept it with enter. Then we click once for a reference point, and the second click is going to be the last position of that particular edge that we are moving. Click. Done. That's it. So now we have successfully added a little bit more detail to a model that was already 3D printable, and now we can 3D print it again. Since our meeting was so good, now we can have a little bit more detail. We can invest more time in our model. As we move along in the design process, it turned out that this meeting went also great. So now everybody wants to see what's going on inside. So to do that, we are going to open up, hollow out this full surface so that we can see what happens inside. To do so, I suggest to use Boolean Difference. But first, we need to offset this solid inwards. So we're going to replicate this solid this distance inward. To do that, we go with offset surface. We select the surfaces we want to, the solid we want to offset, which is this one. Enter. Now zoom in to make sure in which direction these lines are going. Now, this is going inwards. Excellent. Let me click that again so that you can see the wrong way, this way. Notice how the lines are going outwards. And now if I click again, everything is going inwards. So now let's make sure that the distance is set to 0.2, that we want our corners sharp, and we definitely want a solid at the end of this whole thing. Enter to confirm, and we see nothing. So we ask ourselves, did it work? For that, remember that here we're seeing in the view is set to shade. So we don't see anything that's going on inside. But if we go to our top view, let's select it so that we know where we are. If we go to our top view and zoom in, you'll see how there's actually a second set completely inside. Again, very important to work in different viewports in Rhino. Now that we have a couple of options. Either we move the outer face outwards, or we scale this in one direction. For example, if I use the gumball, I can use this small square to scale the model into that particular axis. In this case, this works perfectly. But another idea is, for example, to take it out, extend it, and then push it back in. The next idea would be to move the face. Let's try that. Move face, select the faces, and this is going to be tricky. I cannot select it from here, right? Or can I? No, I cannot. then either you go inside, which is Rhino is never very happy about, or try to find out from another angle which face is the actual face I want to use. Let's see if it's this one. No, that's not the one. This is the one. So now that we have it, we can now accept it, set up a reference point somewhere and push it out. Now we have a full solid that's bigger than the original solid. So now when we move it outward, it's going to be completely intersecting the original one. Let me change this color just to illustrate. The red one is the one that I want at the end. And the gray one is the one that I'm going to be using as an operator to subtract it from. Notice how if I take this away here, this is still solid. I don't see this inside space as I have it now. So let's go back in, and now it's time for our Boolean difference. Let's go with Boolean difference. Select the polysurface to subtract from, meaning the red one in this case, enter. Then we select the polysurface to subtract with, which is this one here, enter. Now, when I delete the operator, I should have that open space, as you see now. Now that we have achieved this inner space, we are also ready to 3D print this. Now, it turns out that particular meeting went great as well. So now we want to add some detail to the facade. So we come back to the model, and we're going to employ a couple of tricks to model a frame for that particular project. Let's do this by using the box commands. Then we're going to attach it here. Make sure that project is not activated so that you're actually sitting on the surface you want. Let's say that this is a correct size. And then we're going to go all the way up, a little bit over. Next up is going to be a mirror operation. Mirror. We select the object we want to mirror, which is this one. Enter. Then we select the midpoint as a reference point, and the midpoint on the other side to do the same. Next up is the horizontal one. To do that, I suggest to use the gumball again, holding down the Option key. Option, the green little arc from the gumball, and Shift at the same time to lock it into 90-degree rotation. That's it. Now, using the gumball as well, we're going to push this and put this in wherever we think is the best way. Now, a quick tip. We're about to subtract with Boolean operation this from this. Now, remember that surface and surface is something that doesn't exist in the real world. And sometimes computers get confused when they're one exactly on the same, occupying the same space as one of those sci-fi movies. That is not normal. So it's better if you always think about this and select them and give them a little bit of tolerance. That means let's push them just a little tiny bit inward, just so that it's clear to the program what to take out from where. Now that we have this, we go and start our last command. Boolean difference. We select the surfaces to subtract from, which are these three. Enter. Then we select the surfaces to subtract with, basically which one is going to be the knife. Make sure that the input won't be deleted by the end of this. We click enter. Now notice how this and this is completely separate. That means that allows us to select the ones that are completely outside, delete them, and have somewhat of a next model to 3D print. That is the end. Thank you, and see you on the next course.